I got all the God-given attributes to beat Floyd Mayweather.
I want to welcome Robert the Ghost Guerrero, who is the interim welterweight champion. Right now, you and Floyd Mayweather share the title, and you're going to show down for that on May 4th.
Yes, sir.
I know you're going to say you can beat him, so I'm not going to ask you if you can beat him. But what are the assets that make you believe you possess that will help you beat him?
Well, for one, I'm 5'9", I'm a lefty. Styles make fights in the boxing industry, and I got all the God-given attributes to beat Floyd Mayweather. I got fast hands, good footwork, power in both hands. I can fight inside, outside, so I could pretty much do a bunch of different things in the ring. Pretty much what Floyd could do, but in a young body.
Would you say the same about Manny Pacquiao? Do you think you could beat him, and would you have said that before the Marquez fight?
Oh, definitely. I've been saying it for years, trying to get the fight. I try to push for a Manny Pacquiao fight, for the last couple of years, but, not being able to get him in the ring. Unfortunately, Marquez got to him fight night, and, I don't know if he's going to either come back to boxing or stay retired. So
you still want to fight him?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's one of the great fighters in the sport. So you want to fight the best fighters out there.
So if you beat Floyd, will you fight Manny?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You'd be open to that?
Definitely, I'll be open to fighting, Manny, Marquez. There's so many fighters out there you want to fight. The one thing coming into this sport is you want to fight the best fighters out there. You don't want to just fight selected fighters. You want to leave your legacy where you fought the best fighters that were in your weight division at the time.
So you still consider Manny one of the best?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he got knocked out by one of the best, and he beat Marquez 3 times. So, it was a great trilogy they had, and you want to be part of one of those trilogies too.
Mm-hmm. Now, you started boxing when you were 9 years old, and what I love about your story is the fact that your father, Ruben, was your trainer all along. Tell me how that started out.
Yeah, my father, he's trained me, since I was a kid. He started me out when I was 9 years old. And, as soon as I stepped in that gym, I mean, I fell in love with the sport, loved it. My father can recognize that, I had a lot of talent, being a lefty, that I was going to be able to do something. And keeping it up, working hard, and, just growing together as a father-son, trainer, fighter. We just grew together, and here we are today.
We've seen a lot of the kind of father-son relationship with Mayweather. We've seen it with Tiger Woods. We've seen it with Michael Jackson, some of the greatest people. Are there some negatives to having your father involved?
There could be negatives, but, it's always about having that respect for each other. A lot of father-son relationships fall apart, but it's having that mutual respect as not just a father-son, but as men. And that's one thing is my father, he respects me as a man, and, that's why it works so well with us.
Mm-hmm. And, this is a show about the business of celebrity. So really, you have a family business in some ways.
Yes, sir.
If you ever did get into a situation with your father, would you be able to fire him?
I don't know. I think it'd be very hard. It'd be very hard. But, you got to do what you got to do, and when the time comes, you got to be able to pull the trigger.
I know that you were not from a wealthy family like many celebrities, and you just had your first $1 million fight. Are you just starting to get in and get comfortable with the idea of having some money?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's being smart about it. There's such a short window of opportunity to make money in the sport. You'll take about maybe 8 to 10 years just getting to an actual good pay. So
do people realize that?
People don't realize how hard it is to get up. In the game of boxing, when you start from the bottom, you start from the bottom. So you got to work your way. Most of the time, you're spending more money on food and vitamins and supplements and stuff just to get ready for a fight. A fight that you're probably making less than what you spend to get ready for it. So a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to get there, and when they do get there, it's nice. It's nice, and you just got to know how to handle it and remember how hard it took you to get there and how much money it took to get there, and not just go and just let it all go.
Is it hard to manage both? I mean, we talked earlier about the business of boxing potentially being tougher than actually getting into the ring and fighting. Does that bother you, just having to deal with the business aspects, or do you leave that to other people?
Getting out there and training and doing all that, I mean, it takes a lot of your time. So, I like to stay in the gym all the time, so, you're not worried so much about the business aspect of it because you've got to focus on making the money. I have, my wife by my side all the time, and, she's very, very sharp too, where, we've been dating since we were 14 years old, so she's been through the trenches with me of boxing and the ups and downs. So, she's kind of the one that's like, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to make sure that everything's right, So, I'm able to just focus on being prepared for fights and stuff.
And another 7-figure deal with the Mayweather fight. Have you thought much about what you're going to do with that money?
Just make the right investments. I still got time to look out, and see where I'm going to invest my money the right way. Because like I said, there's a short window of opportunity to make money in boxing, and once you're done, you're done. So you got to be able to spread that money out, for the rest of your life, and make the right investments to sustain yourself.
Why hasn't it worked out for other boxers? When you look at Mike Tyson, there's so many stories of people that have made hundreds of millions of dollars and squandered that money.
A lot of fighters, I mean, they come from poverty, and when they get a huge amount of money, they just go crazy. They get excited, they go crazy, they start spending here or there, and when they go and they look at their bank account, there's nothing there anymore.
Have you ever done that, or if not, what has stopped you from doing that?
My wife. Having a good person by you that's going to always stay monitoring everything, because, we're only human. We'll go out of control sometimes. And
she pulls you back in.
Yeah, she pulls the reins.
Okay.
But that's the way it is they think that it's going to last forever. And the problem with sports is you only have that short window of opportunity to make it, and if you don't make the right investments and you don't do the right thing, you don't take care of your money, you'll end up broke. You
vacated the IBF super featherweight title while your wife was battling leukemia. Between 2007 and 2010, she went into remission and then relapsed 3 times during that period. You cut back your training over that 3-year period. You turned down 3 major championship fight. Your wife ultimately found a bone marrow match and had the transplant. What did you do every day during her struggle with leukemia, and what was that time like for you?
As far as every day, just praying hard, praying that she gets healthy, being by her side, supporting her. That's why I had to step away from boxing, because, all my time and effort had to go towards her getting healthy, making sure that she's got everything, making sure that she's feeling good, making sure that I'm keeping her, her spirits up.
Were you directly involved in her care as well?
Oh, definitely. I was her caretaker. That's why I stepped away from boxing. I would have to do it all. I would give her shots. I would make sure that she gets to chemo. I'd make sure she's doing everything right. I would cook her food, make sure everything's pasteurized for her. And there's just so much involved in it. As a caretaker, there was no time for boxing. So, I would still go to the gym time to time because, you want to let out your frustrations and just your hurting. So I would just go in the gym and just let it all out in the gym and then come back, clear-minded, and then start trucking with her again.
Did you have people that told you, what are you doing? You need to be out there boxing, making money for your family. You're going to be knocked off your game. You're never going to be able to come back. Why don't you hire someone else to take care of her, check on her from time to time, but stay in the game of boxing? And if you did have people that told you that, why didn't you?
I had a lot of people tell me, you should hire somebody, stick to. I go, you know what? Family's more important. I look at boxing, it's what I do, it's not who I am. The game of boxing is rough. The game of boxing is rough where you can pull out of a fight, a big Showtime fight or a big HBO fight, and the next time you go, hey, I want to fight again, you will not be on TV. They'll just put you on a regular card where you're making probably 10 times less than what you would have made on the TV network. So, you know, the game of boxing is just up and down. I mean, you can be here, next minute you don't perform well, you lose, you could be all the way back to the bottom of the barrel.
And why didn't that happen with you?
You know, I just have a lot of faith in God. You know, when I came back, you know, I did start back at the bottom again. You know, didn't really make hardly any money.
Was there any hostility from promoters and things that said, hey, you stepped away, we don't know?
No, they were excited to have me back. At the same time, it's like, well, we're going to put you here to get you, you know, the ring rust off and get you back into the game, and then we'll work our way back up. So, you know, when you don't have that choice, hey, you're going to take what's going to come your way.
And it is so much about your brand. Your brand can lose that luster that makes people want to fight you.
Oh, definitely. Out of sight, out of mind. And that's what happens in boxing.
That had to be a tough time for you financially because you weren't fighting. Do you feel currently that you're set financially for your future, or do you feel like you have several more fights that you have to do before you can feel really good about being able to provide for your family once you retire? Oh,
definitely. You know, I got a few more fights I got to, you know, under my belt to make sure that I'm financially set up and secure. It's one of those things where so much of your purse just going out. I mean, you got management, you got trainers, you got cutmen, you got, you know, then you got the hospital bills from my wife. So, I mean, there's so much stuff right now that is going out where, you know, long term, you look at what's left, you know, it's not going to sustain you. So you got to keep on going until you're, you know, at the right moment.
In your last fight against Berto, you traded a lot of punches. It was a real vicious fight. At the end of the fight, both of his eyes were closed shut. You had one eye closed shut. But it was a unanimous decision, not a knockout.
Interim Welterweight Champion of the World!
Will you challenge Mayweather now? He's a very punishing fighter. When he beats people, he beats them impressively. Really think you can beat him?
I know in my heart I can beat him. Styles make fights in boxing, and I have the style to beat him. I bring all the attributes that give Floyd Mayweather trouble. So, you know, a lot of people are very excited to watch this fight because Floyd hasn't fought somebody like me in a long, long time. You know, before he was getting guys where he's always had the upper hand. And now it's a, you know, 50-50 match. You got a young guy that can match everything that you can do, plus he's young, plus he throws 1,000+ punches a fight, and he's determined to be the best in the world. So, I mean, it makes for a dangerous fight for Floyd Mayweather.
And you seem like the kind of guy who is, you're going home to your wife, you're going to the gym, you're going to church, you're going back to your wife, going to the gym, going to church. You don't seem like the kind of guy who's out on the town partying and all of that, which really goes along with the boxing lifestyle to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a family man, and
does that help you?
Oh, definitely it does. You know, my whole goal in this whole thing also is you know, to be an example to the youth, to get out there and show them if you work hard, you know, you could come from poverty to the top. You do everything right. I mean, you can make something happen.
Where do you see yourself in your post-career?
I see myself being a minister.
Being a minister?
Being a minister. Like I said, I want to touch people. I want to touch people's lives. I want to be impacting. It's, I mean, I love going to church. I love just listening to the sermons. And, you know, that's what I want to do after boxing. If it's the calling, I'm going to do it.
Do you see yourself staying in boxing in any way?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll stay in boxing, you know, helping out the youth, training kids, you know, passing on what I learned, what my father taught me, passing on to, you know, the youth out there and, you know, giving them some kind of direction.
You're a great young man, gentle spirit.
Thank you very much.
What's funny about guys like you is you're always underestimated. You're that guy when there's an altercation, you say, hey, listen, I'm not looking for any trouble. And then bam!
You can't hear what you can't see.
The ghost. That's why they call you the ghost.
Yep. Yeah, you know, it's very, very underestimated, and you know, it just adds fuel to the fire. Makes you want to get out there and work hard and get the job done and show everybody, hey, it can get done no matter how you look. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Robert Guerrero, thank you very much for coming on the Business of Celebrity. I really appreciate it, and we'll be talking to you very soon, I'm sure.
Yep, he's a new pound-for-pound champion of the world.
All right. And with Robert Guerrero, I'm Lee Hawkins. We'll see you next time.
They don't realize how tough it is, you know, just caring for somebody and being there mentally and emotionally, especially somebody you love. I mean, it's draining and, you know, it's heartbreaking. Now that they got their commission all together, you know, there's a lot more rules. Like before, they used to headbutt and elbow and stuff like that. Now, you know, it's more, they're bringing it more down to, you know, where it's not so violent.